this on the
No, he was here already.
Are we doing the middle? Putting this in the middle.
I can put this one first. Okay, I'm gonna go turn everything on.
I'm just going to go this.
Okay. Oh my goodness, how beautiful.
I can't Melbourne without me going into something.
I know, it's so good. Just stay at the house, and then after all of this is over there, you go, oh my goodness.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's it. I lost my leg. But we need, this needs to be
Oh, is it? Rafi's sitting between your legs.
and who else?
Rafi, you sit there.
Do you want me to start niggling while you find you niggling? Alright, we're going to start with the niggling.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome. There's various spaces. I know it's intimidating to come over here, but you're more than welcome. So this isn't our normal setup. This isn't our normal service. Originally, this was planned as an alternative minyan, and there was going to be a main service and an alternative one. But then the music team and everyone buggered off to Adelaide for the Odyssey conference that they've been waiting for apparently the last 5 years, which is just wonderful. So they're going there. So now everybody gets to experience a taste of something totally different with a touch of familiar, right? And it is so beautiful that we are here today to be able to welcome. I'm going to introduce you in a little bit, but to be able to welcome all of us together. And the idea is that we create a communal space. And right now, with missiles coming at us from all different spaces in all different ways, some physically, some emotionally, we need to create a circle of unity, a circle of strength, and a circle of hope. So I invite you all to sit back, relax. This is Abishai Konyer. This is Violet Zeance, and that is Joe Zeance, who are going to be taking us, and that's Rafi Konyer, who are going to be taking us on an interesting journey. Whether you know the music or not, you'll get to feel it in your bones, in your body, in your soul. Whether you understand the Hebrew or not, sit back, relax, let it flow through you, let it welcome you, and let's begin with the acknowledgement. You said you were going to do it. Okay. So, Rebecca, can I ask you, welcome back from your holiday. We've missed you so much, and we're going to invite you to come all the way over to the other side to light our Shabbat candles and welcome Shabbat. And as many of us know, Shabbat is supposed to be filled with oneg, joy, and menucha, relaxation. And as we sit and we light the lights of Shabbat, let it warm our hearts, fill our souls with joy, and let that joy and warmth come from us here and go all the way to those in Israel who are in need. Shabbat Shalom. Shalom Aleichem. And be found to start singing, and I'll tell you to take your place. It's on page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Alechem is the song we sing to start Shabbat as we welcome the angels, invite them to bless us, and then leave again at the end of Shabbat. But the Sfaradim, they actually have an extra verse to the Shalom Alechem that we don't usually say, and they finish with B'shivtechem l'shalom, inviting the angels not to go at the end of Shabbat, but please actually stay with us a little bit. We need your comfort. We need your grace right now. So I invite us to we're going to add this one verse, B'shivtechem l'shalom. B'shivtechem l'shalom, malachei ha-shalom, malachei The Kabbalat Shabbat, as we know it, was created by the Kabbalists of Tzfat, and for those who've been into the ancient city, you know it's at the top of this big, big mountain, and I always like to feel that when the Kabbalists were creating this tefillah to really separate our Shabbat from the rest of the week, I imagine them running down the hills into the meadows and singing out in song. And so the way we've arranged the room differently tonight is also the way I hope maybe we start to shift and embody the spirit of the ancient Kabbalists, and us too can run down the hill in song. So whether or not you know the words or not, please sing along. If you can't follow the words, sing lailais. If you want to get up and dance, do that. But we'll start with Yedid Nefesh, a new melody. Start with some lailais so you can get the hang of it. We're on page 636. We'll do the first and the last verse. 636. Yaloz Today is on the bottom of page 131, 4 lines from the bottom. Yaloz Today is the time when the words of Yaloz Today invite us to think not just of ourselves for now, but of the world around us, the nature, the trees, all singing with us as we welcome this Kabbalat Shabbat. So I do want to use this time as well to acknowledge the Bonorong people of the Kulin Nation, whose lands on which we meet this evening, whose spirit has sustained the land, and it's only with their blessing and that we are able to come here and continue that journey of these ancient and enduring lands. So 4 lines from the bottom, page 131. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. You know, this Kabbalat Shabbat section during the service is designed to move us from the rest of the week, from the stress, from the chaos, from whatever goes on in your brain, in your life, to kind of get you ready to relax. And sometimes, some people can just snap into it. Most of us can't. And so the music is designed to get us there. So by the time we finish this section, Kabbalat Shabbat, I'm going to check in with all of us and see if we're there. If our hearts are open, if our souls are open. Bedavs, I think you're doing a great job. So on page 132, Or Zarua, the last paragraph on the bottom. A different version than we're used to.
Everyone try that. Bam, diddy, bam, 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 bam, diddy, bam. Yamana, 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 Yamana. Let's try that together. Yamana, 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 Yamana. Pick apart. Yamana, Or Zarua, Natati, Ul Yishay Lev Simcha. Or Zarua, Natati, Ul Yishay Lev Simcha. Or Zarua all together. Or Zarua, Natzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua, Natzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. We're moving now to Lecharodi as we welcome in the Shabbat bride together. On page
138.
138. Kabbalat,
Shabbat, just take a moment. There's not a lot of wiggle room in here, but take a moment to introduce yourself to someone around you that you don't know. Welcome them to the space, and
I think the thing, I always have really good
Oh my God.
I'm so glad you're listening to
You're not playing on. Sorry, can I
Moshe Le'yom HaShabbat Tov Le'odot LaDonai Ulezamer L'Shimcha Ulezamer L'Shimcha Elyon Mizmor Shir Le'yom HaShabbat Tov Le'odot LaDonai ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בכל יעשיך, ולאמונתך בלילות, ויעשוך עלינה, והלב היגיון וחינוך, מזמור שיר ביום
So I said I was going to check in with you. How are we feeling? You know what's interesting? Last week, for those of you that were here last week, well, we were all in a pretty not great place last week. I was particularly in not a great place last week. And I remember listening to the music last week, and there was happy melodies, and I couldn't feel happy. I was just so, the shock of everything, I couldn't get there. I couldn't bring myself there. And then over the week, I've been talking to friends and family in Israel, and, listening to their stories and hearing how, there was a missile, but it wasn't near me, it was a kilometer away. Or, it was 2 blocks away, but we're okay. I can't talk to you now because I've got to finish making dinner. It was a matter of fact, and, St. Lexi and Danny, I'm sorry, I literally emailed them this morning because they were stuck in Israel. And I was like, where are you? Have you got out? Because I found out somebody else just got out and made it to Paris. So I'm so glad you are home safely. Shabbat shalom and welcome. But one of the things that I love about our peoplehood, what I think is so unbelievably powerful, is that no matter where we are in the world, no matter what happens, Shabbat happens. And whether you do it in bomb shelters, whether you do it in hiding, whether you do it when you're camping, whether you do it in synagogue or in your home, it happens no matter what. And the power and the strength of our people, our resilience, I believe, lies within our ability to just keep going and not let it knock us down, no matter what. Sometimes we need a restart, but I think it's a beautiful thing. So thank you for bringing the joy, and hopefully the joy will carry through for those who need it most today. On page 146, the Baruch Hu. Please rise. And we face Jerusalem, which is that way. Please be seated.
This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, my sibling, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, my sibling, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Amen.
Page 115.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. תורת ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. Let's try it from אהבת עולם. אהבת One more time, אהבת עולם, אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. תורת ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח לפניך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם ועד. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. תורת ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן חיינו, ימינו ונגי יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו, אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, תורת ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. ברוך אתה אדוני, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. That melody was written by Shir Yaakov, who writes an English piece actually called An Unending Love, inspired from Ahavat Olam. And Rabbi George Mordechai was like, hold on, it doesn't just have to be inspired by Ahavat Olam, the melody works. And so he arranged it to this piece, which is one of my new favorite melodies. Something I love about where Ahavat Olam is positioned in our tefillah is, from the time we start Ma'ariv, we just did the Baruch Hu, our call to prayer, and we work almost our way to the Amidah, which is that moment of self-reflection. In between, we have revelation, we have the moment of oneness. But before we have oneness, we say there's one crucial ingredient: love. I was reading the Parsha before I came here, and And in my study, I was looking this week's Parsha, Shlach Lecha. It's the story of the 10 spies who go into the land of Israel, and we know what happens next. But one of the things that I found really interesting when you look at the Parsha is, at the beginning it starts, well, each tribe gets to name someone. And it's in this Parsha we're introduced because one of the spies we know is Joshua. But if you see when he's called upon, his name isn't Yehoshua, it's Hosea. And we learn in this week in the commentary that it's now changed to Yehoshua. It adds a Yah, the attribute of God, of divine, of Shekhinah, of that protective presence to accompany the redemption that Yehoshua symbolizes to our people. And the Chizkuni comments on this verse actually and looks at the way the Hebrew is written. He's this 12th or 13th century French commentator on the Torah, and one of the main ones that comes about. And he writes, well, if you look at the Hebrew, yes, Joshua's name is changed today is when it's announced, but actually Joshua's name was changed a while ago. It was changed when Joshua became a servant and then a partner to Moshe. And it's only in this time when he takes his place in front of the people to be one of their spies, they're on the mission to see if it's good, that he gets this name. And why is that important? Because the process of change and that process of redemption, which Yehoshua represents, you may announce it when something big, but it's through that relationship. It was through the relationship between Moshe and formerly Hosea, now Joshua, that the name actually changed. And through the relationship, and a partnership was built, and a mission was set forwards. And only once we worked together, once we were willing enough to embrace this little boy, Hosea, the son of Nun, to come and take his place in front of the people, someone we didn't know, then we can get to the place where we change it, and it's before the people. But the work happens with us, and each of us is then tasked with doing that work of building those relationships one at a time, so when we're ready, when we can build a sense of trust, of compassion between us all, then we can announce that we're ready to take our place. And the Shema, which we're about to say together, the cry of oneness of our people, is really that moment. Shema Yisrael, the moment of oneness, of belonging to a people. And I like to think, if we're all created B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God, and therefore imbued with a spark of the divine, that when we say these words, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one, the spark, the peace of God inside everyone means that all of us are one. And so as we sing the Shema this evening, Violet's going to lead us with an introduction that she learned when she was at leading in reform camps in America. And so we'll pick it up, you'll sing along, and then we'll cover our eyes for the Shema. We're on page 152.
That's it. We're going to do that a couple times. Sounds so good.
חתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטפטפות בין עיניך וקטם המזוזות ביתך ושעריך עשיתם מכל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני עשיתי אתכם לכם אלוהים אני אדוני So usually now in our tefillah we do Michamocha, a cry of freedom, and then Hashkivenu, where we ask God to spread a Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace over all of us. And I think more than ever this Shabbat we really embody these words, but instead of saying Hashkivenu, we're going to say a different set of ancient words, the words of Ana Elna Refana La, that actually came to us in last week's Parsha, when Miriam, Moshe's sister, was really sick and Moses did not know what to do and all he could do was cry out these words, Ana Elna Refana La, please God, please heal her. And so in a moment I'm going to cast my eyes around the room, and if there's someone you would like to offer a prayer of healing for at this time, I invite you to share their name. It could be a friend, a family member, maybe even looking in the mirror. So please share their name so together we can all offer them a prayer of healing.
Christine Graham, Hilda Abana.
I'm all beyond pain in Israel.
Think of all those who are suffering in this war, the hostages who are not yet returned and suffering unimaginable pain, and those who've been injured in Israel as a result of these recent attacks. And I invite you, if you're able, to extend this compassion, this prayer for healing to all those innocent people in Gaza and Iran who too are hurt because of this horrible, horrible war. Anna, Elna, Refanala, please God, please heal her, please heal us all.
We're going to rise now for the Amidah on page 164. We're going to say the first bracha together a few times. We're going to continue silently reading the prayers through page 180, or using whatever the thoughts and prayers of healing and peace in our own hearts. Direct them towards Jerusalem, direct them towards Israel, and around the world. And when we're done, we may be seated. Thank you.
Adonai, Adonai Tzuri Begoali. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri Begoali. 178. Yule Ratzon Imrefi, Imrefi.
'So, hopefully your dinners will still be waiting for you when you get there. That you're enjoying the spirit of being here. Welcome everyone for this beautiful, beautiful Shabbat. Thank you to everyone who's been here. It gives me great, great privilege to introduce Yaron Shavit, the Deputy Chairman of the Executive of the Jewish Agency here today. He is an incredible man, and he's one of us. That's what I love. He's the former chair of the IMPJ, the Israeli Movement of Progressive Judaism. He's a member of the Zionist Executive, and he was the president of the last Zionist Congress, which is incredible. His extensive prior experience includes professional activities as a lawyer, military service to the rank of a colonel, and doing tremendous amount of volunteer work. He's also the past chair of his own congregation, Kamat's Reformed Jewish Congregation, where he still remains an active member. And Yaron, it gives us an incredible privilege to be able to welcome you here today. So thank you so much. I'm going to ask you to sit here so those people online can also see you. So welcome to everyone online as well.
Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom to everyone, and thank you so much for coming. I know that you came for Kabbalat Shabbat and not to hear me, but then it's great to have this full house. I'll share with you that Michal, my wife, myself, and two of our children were here on Tfilat Kabbalat Shabbat some 12 years ago. I believe that Brian was then the president of the UPJ, and there was an Adelaide UPJ convention, and I was asked to come here to be the speaker on behalf of the Progressive Trust. So we started our visit in Melbourne here in TBI for Kabbalat Shabbat. And unfortunately, you mentioned that I'm a member of Kamat. Kamat this week again went to prayers only online because of the situation. And this short visit of mine started last week in Auckland, New Zealand. And as I entered the synagogue and Beit Shalom in Auckland, the siren went on. I get it on my phone and into my ears. And this morning when Michal woke up, it was afternoon here, she texted me. It was the first night that I got to sleep the whole night and not go in and jump in and out. And I want to start by recognizing the fact that we are in a war that is now 630 whatever days ongoing. But the truth is that this war started in October 7th because our worst enemy is our machlokot inside our people, and the 2 years that were before that, the demonstrations that we all had to take to stand against the government's intentions and activities to actually change the basic legislation in Israel regarding very, very fundamental values for us. The fact that the political leadership brought us to a complete chasm inside the Israeli society is the reason that we got into October 7th, because we now know for sure that the Hamas was just waiting for the opportunity. They felt that we were weak at that point, and they attacked. We all agree that at this point the preemptive attack that we sent to Iran is justified in the fact that we have to make sure that someone who determines to destroy us will not have the nuclear ability to do that. So that we did, and hopefully with that we'll settle. At the moment we already feel that politically in Israel and way away behind the other side of the ocean, there are notions that maybe we'll take it a bit further and deeper, and sometimes when you start that it only gets more and more complicated and unfortunate. But I hope that we are able to stay together with the ambition, with the understanding that we need to stand together against our enemies. Nevertheless, our biggest machloket is our machloket inside our own.
Machloket is a dispute.
Dispute between ourselves. And in this dispute, and I brought with me something that I would love to share with you and leave with you here. Something that as I travel around, I created this especially in my office. It's our Declaration of Independence as it was signed, but I took out a few extracts in English that make it clear that when we declared the State of Israel, we declared it to be the homeland of the entire Jewish people. And for that we needed you, and you did stand behind us and supported us when we had the dispute, and we still have the dispute on the values of the State of Israel. And the reason is very simple, because when the Zionist movement took upon itself to build a state for the Jewish people, it was obvious that we need to build a state that the Jews around the world will look up to, will be proud of, and not something that we will feel that we're ashamed of. And just above the office that I sit in the best office in the building of the national institutions. It's the office that everyone needs to go out when they want to take a picture on the terrace. And I made sure that when they go out, they give homage to all the leaders of the Reform movement, and they kiss the mezuzah that's in my synagogue, in the template of the synagogue. That's the mezuzah and the entrance to my office. But just above that office is the hallway where Chaim Weizmann, who preceded me as being the president of the Zionist Congress, but he was the first president of the State of Israel. He was inaugurated in the hallway just above the office where I sit. And outside there is a plaque of things that he said when he was sworn in to the position of the first president. And he said, in this great moment for me personally and for our people, it is important for me to make sure that we all realize that everything we do and everything that unfortunately we not do in this country will shed its light or its shadow on the entire Jewish people. And what we are asking you to do now, when there is an opportunity come the next Zionist Congress this October, is to stand up behind us and behind our values to strengthen our force within the entire Jewish national Zionist movement, and say that we are standing up behind our reform values. Our liberal democracy is something that the State of Israel has to continue and maintain, and if we will lose that, we will lose our country. Simply because we will not be worthy of a country. And to be honest, it's already said, when Moses was leading our people in the desert, it was already said, and one of my rabbis says this was Alt-Nai land. It's the book that Herzl wrote is called Alt-Nai land. It's Alt-Nai land because we gave it to you on probation. Now the probation is that you stand to the values that are not the values of the people that you were in Egypt and are not the values of the people that the spies were talking about. There are the values that I teach you. The values of Ve'ahavta le'reacha kamocha. And unfortunately, within the State of Israel, within the Jewish people, there is this dispute. And you get a voice to influence about what is the movement that the Zionist movement is going to take. What's the direction? Is it going to continue to be a direction of a democratic liberal country, of a democratic liberal movement, or it's going to be, unfortunately, yet another Bar Kochva that comes in with the zealots, and the entire thing breaks up and blows up in our face, and we lose the third temple. And there is 1/3 of the mandates that are the members that will build the next Zionist Congress. 1/3 of them is given to the rest of the Jewish world. 1/3 is in Israel, according to our last elections. 1/3 is in the United States. 1/3 is given to the rest of the world. 13 of these mandates, I made a mistake, I forgot. 13 of these mandates are given to Australia. And we are fighting for these mandates. We, at the moment, have 6 of them, together with Masorti, who are running with them together. It means that we need to take half the votes. A mandate is a member of parliament that will come to the Zionist Congress come October. There are 525 of these members, delegates that will come. It's like a huge parliament of the Jewish people. We meet only once every 5 years. From that, from the relativity of the forces within that parliament, the giant parliament, 1/5 will continue to meet once a year as the General Assembly of the Jewish people. We call it the Va'ad HaPoel. You don't need to remember these words. But also relativity, we get to sit around the table that the decisions are being taken and that the funding is being distributed. And part of the funding that the IMPJ receives, that the World Union receives, that the World Union for Progressive Judaism that receives, that the movements around the world receive, comes $20 million that are distributed to our movement within 5 years. And we want to make sure that we defend them. We are now running against a very dirty campaign that the ultra-Orthodox are running against us. They're running a negative campaign. Their campaign to their people is, do you want to see the Kotel with women praying on it? Do you want to continue to see the reformists, as they call us, the reformists and the conservatives enjoying their growth in Israel? God forbid, so come and vote. And they are managing to mobilize their people. And for us, it's much more difficult and much more challenging to mobilize our people. We need to understand that we lose elections around the world, lastly in Poland, before that in the US and in Israel, always because our people like to show up and actually cast their vote. They stay at home. Some because they couldn't care less, and some because they just forgot, it's not important enough, or you know what? I don't feel comfortable. All of these things that you've probably heard in your families, for now I'm asking all of you, not only to cast your votes, but to also make sure that your friends and members of the family, every Jew who's over 18, who says that he is a Zionist, he believes in the fact that the Jewish people are entitled to a state of their own, which its capital is Jerusalem, and that he did not vote in the Israeli elections, is entitled to vote, and it's important that come July 1st, between July 1st and July 27th, and please do not wait for the last days. This is the window of opportunity to vote. And we already know that this is not the entire congregation that we have here. And some of the people here will forget if we don't remind them to vote. And there are others that are not members of congregations, but still have the same set of values that we agree that we need to actually... We need to get them to stand up and vote. There are Israelis living here that are also democratic and liberal, and they will be called by their Israeli friends in the States to also vote and support Arza and Masorti that are running in the same slate, because we are fighting for the same values. I know that some of you have been asked to vote for other slates who may have the same values, but actually stand behind Israeli political parties. I am asking you not to do that. They have their representation in Israel automatically. 1/3 of the representation is Israeli political map. Okay? We need our people not only to stand behind our values, which are democratic, liberal Judaism, but also to stand behind the reform movement and to have support for the reform movement. The parties that are actually sharing the same left liberal values will not support funding for the reform movement. For them, it's actually an opportunity to say, you know what? Their streams are getting money. We're also a stream. We are the Chiloni stream. We want also to take part of their money to go to us, as if they don't have enough from payments in the internal Israeli political map. So I'm asking all those who are behind our values and support them to actually make sure that we assist people actively to vote and to make sure that arts are running together with Masorti. It's Artsenu here.
It'll be but on the slate.
Never mind. They're changing the slate the last minute, but you will understand and you will know it will be Artsenu with Masorti running together, and this is the slate that we need to vote. Yes, you had a question.
They don't open until July 1st, but trust me, if anyone will give you all the information, and if you want to volunteer to make phone calls, to make
It's important to actually mobilize people to actually vote.
If you look on the ARTSA website, arza.org.au, or it tells you there, you'll have to register to vote, then you'll get an email with the link to vote. It's all in the same time. All online.
It is all online. Yofi, kol hakavod, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was really important. Now, if you ever wonder why we're one people, someone says, why are we in Australia and around the world voting for Israel? Because it is our homeland. We are one people, no matter where we are. And if there's anything that says that, in case there's any doubt, the fact that we have a right to vote and influence it's quite huge. I am fully aware that it's late and people want to go, but I want to ask everyone, and I want to thank you so much for coming and sharing with us, and I want to thank everyone for doing this. I'd like to ask you to please rise. I'm sorry, I'm changing. I want to do Avinu. I want to just say a prayer for Israel, and then I want to do Kaddish, and then if you need to go, you need to go. But that's what we're gonna finish up this way. So thank you very much. The prayer for Israel can be found on page 377. the service. We remember all of the innocent civilians that were killed in the Iranian missile attacks in the hospital in Beersheba, the residential homes in Holon, Tel Aviv, Ramat Gan, and in the Arab village of Tamra, and throughout the country. We remember Ismail Fekri, an Iranian executed for allegedly helping Israel. We remember all of the innocents who died as a result of this conflict. We remember all of the innocents who died around the world as a result of conflicts that need not to be. In Shiva, we remember Anna Borenstein. In Shloshim, we remember Phyllis Absler, Yaron Lashinsky and Sarah Milgram, Judith Feldman, Gadi Haggai and Judy Haggai, recovered hostages, Michelle Hamber, Frederick Hutter, Yoav Reber, Leon Siegel, Felix Weiss, Michael Machuk, Yair Yaakov and Aviv Atzlili, also hostages recovered. The yard sites of those in our community, we remember Betty Ackerman, Ben Ballon, David Bock, Harry Brooks, Joseph Epstein, Simon Frayden, Jackie Gimri, Lucy Gonzalez, Anna Har, Eugene Hellinger, Philip Heyman, Felicia Hutchinson, Uda Joseph, Pamela Levitt, Haskell London, Lee Masso, Patrick McGrath, Irene Popper, Peter Valentine, Henrietta Vogel, Holly Zent, Bernard Zipper, and Harry Zipper. If there is anyone else in mourning or observing Yardside, if you'd like to say their name aloud or in your hearts as I look around the room, please do so. We also say Kaddish for all of those who have no one left to say Kaddish for them. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. We continue on page 598. Yitkadal v'yikadash me'ava, be'alma yivrach yirteh v'yalich ma'amoteh, v'chayevon v'yomechon, v'chayeh t'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעל מעל מעיין יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי קדושה בריחו לעילם במקום ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן ועלמה ויראו אמן יהי שמע רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויראו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ויראו אמן. May the source of peace send peace to those who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank Avishai and Violet and Rafi and Joe for leading us today. Absolutely beautiful. I'd like to thank our shamashim. I'd like to thank our security. Please thank our security out there. I'd like to thank Yaron so much for being here. You're telling me I need to thank someone else? I don't say it out loud, so. What? I know what I'm going to finish with. Thank you very much. So, what I am going to do is I'm going to thank you all very much for coming and joining us. I'm sure I'll get feedback. I'd like positive as well as negative, but I'll take all of it as doing an alternative minyan. So we did an experiment. We'll see how we go, but it's nice and really glad. While you are standing, Rafi, I didn't tell you this, but I'm going to ask you to lead us in Kiddush. We'll do Kiddush at Botzi, and then everybody will be on their way. Kiddush for Friday night is on page 122. Can someone grab me a Kiddush cup over there for Rafi? Page 122, Rafi. Thank you.
וירא ויבוקר יום השישי, ויאכלו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויאכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הכפר. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו מצוותיו ורצווה, ושבת קודשו באהבה רצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי יום תחילה למקרה הקודש, זה יציאת מצרים. קיבלנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה ורצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
לחיים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, המוציא לחם מן הארץ.
שבת שלום! עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. סלאם עלינו ועל כל העולם, סלאם, סלאם, סלאם עלינו ועל כל העולם, סלאם, סלאם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. סלאם עלינו ועל כל העולם, סלאם, סלאם, סלאם עלינו ועל כל העולם, סלאם, סלאם. סלאם עלינו, סלאם עלינו, סלאם עלינו ועל סלאם עלינו, סלאם עלינו, סלאם עלינו ועל שלום עלינו ועל כל העולם, שלום, שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל העולם, שלום, שלום. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. שבת שלום!
He's the best.
See one of these concerts in person. Concerts. Most actually. Amy, tell us.
Look at that.
she's taking over from me. I love Israel. She's doing it. Literally booked my flights the day before the tour started.
Judy, welcome. It's so lovely to see you.
I think I'm leaving here on the 11th.
Getting there, yes. That's
Yes,
four of us.
it's a big change.
It's a change, yeah. We have a lot of stuff being shipped over. So
Oh, it hasn't arrived yet.
no, it's like 3 months or if we're lucky.
Wow.
It's lovely to have you here. Nice to be here. So
Very
happy,
well,
so long.
very happy, and it's lovely to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Lovely. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Well done. Nice to see you here.
Yeah, and it's just me.
You just have to leave the hand here and you sit here.
We'll be done. Oh God, that'll be the day.
Lauren.
They have to prepare the dinner. Need someone to be at home doing that. Shabbat shalom. This is great. Wow.
No, I haven't seen you shopping in something like that, you know.
Well, it's good because they played it and we just went straight to the other one. To see you. Take care of I heard you say she does that very well. Thanks for coming back. Yeah.
See you there.
They're going separately.
Should we go?